Hi, this is Safe Space with Sharon. I want to talk to you about something that happened a couple days ago. Actually, two things happened. It's that time of year to get the yard in order, right? And I have had the same super gardener help me every year. Allison's the best. She really cares about my yard. She cares about all of her clients. And so she was here working because the deer ate the entire shade garden last year. I know there's a drought, but deers, please. The whole shade garden? Yes, the whole shade garden. So she was figuring out what kind of plants would deter that, what plants we had to remove. And she's in a really busy season. I mean, she's got a lot of clients to deal with right now, right? So she was feeling a bit overwhelmed. And when we get overwhelmed, sometimes we don't pay attention as much. We're trying to get so much done. We're in a hurry. I know that's how I react. Well, she took a fall from her truck and she really hurt herself. She wouldn't let me take her to urgent care. So while we sat on the porch, while she waited for a friend to come get her, we talked. And she explained, it is just so busy right now. And I'm trying to get everything done. And now I've hurt myself and I feel so badly because I can't get back out there and work. Well, it turned out she broke several ribs. It's gonna be a little bit before she's back out in my yard or anybody else's yard. And we talked about how overwhelmed she was and how sometimes when we think we have so much we gotta get done, somebody like God might say, slow down, slow down. You don't have to get it all done today. And sometimes something happens that's gonna make us slow down. And that's what happened to Allison. And although it was painful, it was a good reminder. And we talked about how sometimes God just has other plans for us. So I know when I get overwhelmed, like all of us do, there's so much going on in our lives that sometimes we don't take that moment to just breathe. That's the first thing. Go, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna take a moment. I'm gonna breathe. And that deep breath, that in through the nose and out through the mouth, can be so calming and help us get centered and focused again. So some of the things I've learned to do when I'm overwhelmed is, okay, what is the source of this feeling of being overwhelmed? Is it things I need to do? Is it personal feelings? Or is it something else? I think knowing what has you stressed and overwhelmed is really important, because not knowing the source, we can't fix it. For me, it's about breaking down all the things I have to do. I am a list maker. So I make the list of everything I think I need to get done. And then I start to prioritize it by what's most important. And that's not necessarily what's critical, because sometimes some items are dependent on time. Like that email that says you must answer by noon today. I get those emails from work. I have to respond to the host that I'm going to be working with information about the items I'm going to be selling. And I have to do it within 12 hours of the airtime. That seems like a lot of time, but you know what? It's like, okay, I'll get to it. And then I move on, and before I know it, it's 10 hours before my airing. So organizing that list and prioritizing that list is really important. And sometimes it's subcategories. It's about setting priorities, determining you know, what really can wait till next week or tomorrow, and dealing with just what needs to be done today. And then I think we need to give ourselves a break sometimes. You know, for me, it's easy for me not to take time for me, for my health, for my mental stability. And so something as simple, like I love this time of year because our yard is flooded with birds, especially those that are transitory and moving that I only see for a very short period of time at this time of year. To be able to go outside and listen to the sounds of all the birds in my yard, and then open my eyes and try to figure out which one is making which sound. One of my favorite birds is a catbird, and he showed up a few days ago. And I kept looking, I could hear his sounds because he does mimic cat sounds. And I found him. He's such a handsome boy. He's awesome. And it was just so nice to be reminded that these baby birds, these wonderful creatures of God's, are here only momentarily in my yard. And that I need to take the time to appreciate that and not let myself get overwhelmed by everything that's going on in the world. Shut off the news, shut off the needs, and just take 5 minutes to go out in my beautiful backyard and listen to the birds. The other thing that we have to learn to do for ourselves when we're feeling overwhelmed and feeling we have so much to get done, limit the distractions. I turn the sound off on my phone. I don't want to hear all the, news runs and whatever. I want to not be distracted. So turning off the notifications, maybe putting on some calming music, and just not let everything else get in my way. Not every text needs to be answered this moment. Not everything is urgent. And then sometimes our source of overwhelm might be something happening, a mental problem, a psycho problem, Maybe it's our personality and we're just easily overwhelmed. And in that case, seeking professional help is really important. I could just talk to my best friend or my sister, who is also my best friend, and just talking through what I'm feeling and helping me just think through those moments and recognize what I can let go of and what I can't. For example, I've been getting tremendous headaches over the last month, and I'm like, what is this? So, you see this glare on this glass lens? That's because it's a blank. I had cataract surgery about a month ago. So they replaced the existing prescription lens with a blank lens, but it causes a glare. This side has glare proof, no glare. They also polished this lens in preparation for cataract surgery. So guess what? This prescription no longer works. So I've been walking around with these and getting headaches. I talked to my sister. Guess what? She went through the exact same thing, and she said, take off your glasses. That was the source of my stress and being overwhelmed with a headache. Something that simple. So talk to somebody you trust. Talk it through. Have a healthy conversation about how much you care for each other. And then remember, there's another day tomorrow. and there's plenty of time to get the things done that don't need dealing with today. Please subscribe, and also come back and visit me here at Safe Space with Sharon, and let me know if there's something you want to talk about. Have a blessed day.